Have you ever traded a small fortune for a scoop of ice cream? Because some people did. We're talking emperors, presidents, and rich people who put actual whale vomit in their dessert. Welcome to Edible Lore, where food history gets weird, delicious, and occasionally disgusting. Hit that subscribe button and let's dig in. Long before sprinkles and sugar cones, ice cream was strictly VIP. The Chinese were packing milk and rice into snow around 2000 BC. The Persians made falude, rosewater noodles chilled with snow. Ancient India gave us kulfi, pistachio, saffron, and frozen without a freezer. No spoons, no stores, just cold flexes from ancient royalty. Roman emperors like Nero made servants sprint up mountains for snow so he could chill his fruit cocktails. Meanwhile, in the Islamic Golden Age, scientists were refining cooling techniques that led to early sherbets. In the middle of desert empires, they were casually pulling off frozen desserts with chemistry, just to show they could. When sugar came to Europe, Italy started freezing everything. Sorbetto became a show of sophistication. Florentine chefs were freezing lemon juice into icy jewels. Some even died inhaling toxic chemicals trying to speed up the chilling process. That's how far they'd go for sorbet. Now imagine dying for lemon ice. Commitment or insanity? You decide. Catherine de' Medici brought sorbet to France, and French royalty turned it into theater. Parisian cafes served asparagus ice cream in silver bowls, while powdered wigs nodded in approval. King Louis XIV's chefs created desserts that looked like frozen dragons and edible bouquets. Rich people were straight up hallucinating on dairy. Let's talk about ambergris, a luxury ingredient that's basically whale puke, or poop depending on the whale's mood. It comes from sperm whales. It's a waxy gray lump that forms around squid beaks in their intestines. Eventually, the whale expels it, and it floats for years before washing ashore. When it does, it smells awful at first, but then it ages into a sweet, earthy perfume. In the 1600s and 1700s, chefs started grating this aged ocean barf into desserts, including ice cream. Vanilla and ambergris was considered peak flavor. Some described it as animalic or divine, others just gagged. And yes, it's still insanely valuable. A fisherman in the Maldives once found a chunk worth $300,000. So next time you eat vanilla bean, just say a quick thank you that there's no fermented whale guts in it. Meanwhile, in the US, the founding fathers were building democracy and dessert menus. Thomas Jefferson wrote down French ice cream recipes and stored tubs of it at Monticello. George Washington dropped over $200 in one summer on ice cream. That's like throwing $6K at Cold Stone. Dolly Madison made strawberry ice cream the official vibe of White House parties. Ice cream was prestige, patriotism, and political PR all in one bowl. In the early 1800s, ice was the Silicon Valley of food. One man, Frederick Tudor, realized people in hot places might pay a ridiculous amount of money for frozen water. So what did he do? He literally sawed giant chunks of ice out of frozen Massachusetts ponds, loaded them into insulated ships, and sailed them, sometimes for months, to the Caribbean, India, and even South America. People thought he was nuts. One Boston newspaper said, he might as well try to sell snow to Eskimos. Spoiler, Tudor made millions. He basically invented the global cold chain. By the 1850s, ice cream parlors exploded in popularity. No longer exclusive to the elite, anyone with a few cents could walk into a parlor and cool down with a cone. A nickel for a scoop? It was the edible air conditioning of the working class. And the culture around it? Pure Americana. Families dressed up for weekly trips to the parlor. Young lovers sat side by side, spoons clinking nervously. Children screamed not from joy, but from brain freeze. Even Abraham Lincoln's wife, Mary Todd, hosted ice cream socials at the White House. Because nothing brings people together quite like frozen dairy and mild dehydration. Picture this, St. Louis, 1904, the World's Fair, electricity, inventions, and one unlucky ice cream vendor who runs out of cups. Next to him, a Syrian waffle vendor. He sees the chaos and says, "Here, roll this up." Boom. The ice cream cone is born. Or is it? Because here's the plot twist. At least 4 different people claimed to invent the ice cream cone that day. There's Italo Marchioni from New York, Ernest Hamwi from Missouri, Abe Dumar from Virginia. Everyone's got a grandma who invented the damn cone. Regardless of who did it first, what mattered was the impact. Now people could walk and eat ice cream. It didn't need a spoon or a dish. You could throw a scoop into a crispy shell and run wild like a Victorian toddler on a sugar bender. Around this time, we also saw the banana split enter the scene in 1904, thanks to a 23-year-old pharmacist named David Strickler. He split a banana in half, added 3 scoops, syrup, whipped cream, and a cherry. His boss thought he was wasting inventory. Customers thought he was a genius. Also gaining steam were Sundays, created as a workaround for religious soda laws. Some towns banned soda on Sundays, so soda fountains ditched the fizz and sold syrup over ice cream instead. What was once a legal loophole became an icon. Moral of the story? All the best desserts come from petty laws and accidents. By the time World War II rolled around, America knew one truth. You can't fight fascism on an empty stomach. So the military built floating ice cream factories. Literal ships designed to make 10 gallons of ice cream per hour to keep troops' morale high. The Navy even converted a barge to carry over 2,000 gallons of ice cream to Pacific combat zones. Imagine being under fire and still getting your daily scoop of vanilla. After the war, soldiers came home with one thought. I want more ice cream. Cue the boom. Soft-serve machines popped up in diners and roadside stands. Good humor trucks rolled through suburbs with that creepy but iconic jingle. Ice cream became the American treat. Meanwhile, Neapolitan ice cream started ruining friendships. 3 flavors, 1 tub. Some households drew invisible boundaries. Others mixed with reckless abandon. Some parents just gave up and bought chocolate only. This era also gave rise to TV dinners with ice cream compartments and space-age freeze-dried ice cream, also known as astronaut chalk. It wasn't fancy, but it was ours. And now we're flavoring it with nostalgia, branding, and identity. There's gender reveal ice cream for dogs, ice cream for lactose intolerant people who still crave punishment. There's even ice cream NFTs, don't ask. We eat it when we're alone and want to feel less alone. We eat it with people we love because it makes the moment sweeter. We cry into it, we propose with it, we fake smile in front of it on family vacations while dying inside. You don't just like ice cream, you have a relationship with it. And let's be honest, no one ever reminisced about a salad the way people remember an ice cream cone melting down their hand in July. So when we talk about ice cream's history, we're really talking about ourselves, about culture, about coping, about craving. It's food, but it's also therapy, tradition, rebellion, and sometimes just a really convenient excuse to leave the house in pajamas at 10 p.m. And that's power. Fast forward to today, and ice cream has gone full influencer. You can now get vegan, gluten-free, oat milk matcha swirl, served in biodegradable, compostable cones. Gold-plated ice cream sundaes that cost $1,000. Topped with edible gold leaf, caviar, and champagne syrup. Nitrogen frozen creations made tableside like a science fair project. And of course, Instagram-ready weirdness. Wasabi ice cream, charcoal black goth cones, blue cheese and bacon bits, lobster-flavored gelato for the truly broken inside. Meanwhile, Japan brings us mochi ice cream, chewy frozen rice dough wrapped around creamy centers. Perfect for people who want dessert and a minor choking hazard. Turkey still flexes with dondurma, stretchy, chewy ice cream that doesn't melt easily, and served by trickster vendors who will torment you for way too long before finally handing you the cone. Then there's Ben & Jerry's, who started from a $5 mail order course in a gas station and now run an empire built on chunky pun names, political activism, and flavors so dense you could use the pint to break into a car. And yes, Ambergris is making a comeback. A few Michelin-starred chefs still flirt with using it. Legally dubious? Yes. Expensive? Definitely. But what's a luxury dessert without a hint of moral ambiguity? Ice cream isn't just dessert. It's history frozen in time. From ancient snow-packed milk bowls to gold-covered scoops and fermented whale stink, every spoonful tells a story. This was Edible Lore. If you like learning how humanity turned frozen milk into a cultural obsession, give this video a like. Drop a comment with the weirdest flavor you've tried, and subscribe so the algorithm doesn't toss me into the freezer section. Stay curious, stay cold, and remember, next time someone tells you they're craving something classic, ask if they mean vanilla or fermented whale intestine. Thank you for watching. Truly, from the bottom of my heart. Edible Lore is a one-man operation, and it takes a lot of time, energy, and midnight snacks to keep all these moving pieces working. If you have any video ideas, drop them in the comments. You might just get featured in the next episode. And seriously, thank you. Every single person who stops by this channel means the world to me. I see you. I appreciate you. And I hope you stick around for more tasty history.